Hello and welcome to the official highlights programme of the M Sport Return to Rally stages. I'm Seb Scott. We're here at Dovenby Hall, home to M Sport, effectively the unofficial home of UK rallying. We're on the eve of the rally right now and rallying is coming back to Britain. I'm excited, I hope you're excited too. We're going to head inside now, speak to some familiar faces and find out just what's going on.
I think that was our biggest concern, was that the fact that when the lockdown started to ease and other sports were coming back, Motorsport UK released a lot of regulations on how to get a lot of other forms of motorsport going, but rallying wasn't there. And it was key for us to get that going again. That's why we got in contact with them and where this idea came from. And we wanted to get as many of our customers in all ranges of cars coming back in. So it's quite good, really, in some ways, that I'm competing with the two-wheel drive guys, Matt's competing with the four-wheel drive cars. Adrian and Reese are there as well, who are good benchmarks for anyone in four-wheel drive cars for WRC level drivers. And Malcolm's using the Escort. So I think it's really good to have that, and we want to, every customer is important as each other to M Sport. And so inviting them all along to the event is what we wanted to do, and happily they're coming.
Hopefully this signifies a return to rallying, and I think hopefully for the UK it puts on it shows how a rally can be run under these these COVID times, really.
I think Saturday will be quite emotional for me, because to think that all the cars that's going to be competing, they've all actually been designed, produced, or sort of manufactured in this environment. So it'll be quite a special moment for myself, and obviously I think for a lot of the staff.
Well, that was interesting. So we've heard about what's happening and who's going. Shall we go and find out what the stages are like? Sunshine of Dovenby for the rain clouds of Greystoke, but that hasn't wiped a smile off a single face here. So many people are looking forward to getting back in action. There's so much work that has gone on behind the scenes. 6 weeks it took to put this rally on, 11 months of work in the space of 6 weeks. Let's find out from the people that actually made this rally happen.
More than the usual challenge. I mean, when you're organising this type of event, normally you've got 10, 11 months to set things up. For this we've had 6 weeks, so it's naturally put a lot of pressure on people. Fortunately the team are really keen on seeing the event go ahead, and so they've had to put in that extra effort over such a very short length of time.
Hopefully all goes well, and we can't wait to hear the sound of cars getting back into stages. Even just hearing them moving about in the service area just now makes you think of what you've missed.
So we've not quite got a convoy of M Sport cars yet, but we've got a convoy. This is the recce convoy, everybody's waiting. It's not the greatest of weather, but we don't care, because we're finally getting into some stages. Some of these boys haven't been on a recce this year yet. Absolutely great to see. And we've caught up with a few of them.
It's good to get here now. Stages look good, so we get a wee recce here now and see how it goes.
The first forest event I've done. Ever.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. I do road rallies, and I did one at Rowing about a month ago, but it's the first forest rally I've done.
Well, if you have an M Sport car, and it was first event back, so it was a logical thing to do. So it'll be nice to get back out on the stages.
Just to get the wheels turning and getting people, buying fuel from the fuel suppliers and buying tyres from tyre supply, all those things keep people working.
All of the competitors want to be out as much as possible, so it's quite good that Malcolm stepped up and organised this event with the motor club to get the guys back in cars. I mean, it's just all these cars are sat in workshops and doing nothing. They need to be out being used.
We see other sports have started back up, but everybody's had to make small adjustments. Rallying's exactly the same. We've had to make some adjustments, but we're starting now and we go on from here, and I'm sure it will go on very, very successfully.
It's rally day now, and I'm not the only one here. To the right of me is a rally driver who we're going to have on stage, and John Armstrong. Say hello.
Hello, it's good to be here. The weather's looking a bit wet today, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. Nice to be back in the stages. Nice to see so many R5 cars, WRC cars. It's absolutely unbelievable, so I'm really excited to see the action today.
You've already been round chatting to a few crews. Anything you can tell us already?
I think everyone is a bit, concerned. They haven't been out in a long time. They don't have any confidence because they haven't got the seat time. They don't know what sort of grip they're going to get out there. It's the first time for a lot of people in Greystoke. A lot of the Irish people have never been here before. So yeah, it's going to take them the first couple of stages just to build their confidence, I think.
And into the Greystoke Forest we go. M Sport return to rally stages are about to kick off, but first we need to make sure the stages are clear, and that requires a zero car. We've got a treat for you. Yes, that is Malcolm Wilson. Yes, that is a Ford Escort Mark II, and he's going to be clearing the stage for us. Couldn't think of a more fitting way to return to British rallying on gravel stages than with Malcolm sending it, going sideways and having a bit of fun. Sitting beside him is Richard Christensen. He's the chief engineer behind the Ford Fiesta R5 Mark II, which has already proved to be an incredibly competitive car. He's also a member of West Cumbria and Eden Valley Motor Club, who have actually put on this event, so it's just the ultimate perfect combination of how to get rallying back going again, as Malcolm's sideways there.
A little bit rusty, should we say?
Yeah, but it must be amazing to be back out in the stages and
yeah, it's great to get back.
Nice. Special memories of this car as well.
Yeah, no, it's nice to get back, especially in this forest as well.
A forest which must feel like home for Malcolm, flying in his Escort Mark II. Maybe living a bit of a dream there, we won't lie. And now Matthew Wilson, going in current WRC machinery, the Fiesta WRC. This car started life in 2017. Won M Sport its manufacturer's title with Sebastian Ogier, Elvin Evans and Oit Tanak, and it is great to see Matt flying through here, and great for everybody to see some Fiestas flying in WRC trim, something unfortunately we won't see on Rally GB this year, so M Sport have made it happen, which is absolutely fantastic. Matt isn't holding back, considering this event is mainly for fun. He is doing some testing though, M Sport using every opportunity they can to further themselves in the World Rally Championship. Let's hear from Matt now.
Amazing fun, to be honest. I think the last rally I did was 2017, so it's been a long time. But to be honest, I got a bit of a lump in the throat driving out and seeing all them M Sport cars, and what we've been able to put on with the support of all our amazing customers and stuff. So yeah, it's going to be a good day, I think.
It must be an emotional moment for Matt, seeing all these cars, but then obviously that's what we're here to do. We're here to get back rallying. M Sport probably producing the most rally cars that are fielded on club events, so let's get all the M Sport cars out. And we've even got some factory WRC2 drivers by the likes of Adrian Formeau here. Is no stranger to Greystoke though. He actually had an outing earlier this year in the Malcolm Wilson Rally, which he won. Fantastic to see Adrian also dabbling with a bit of club events in the UK as well as on the world stage.
It's really enjoyable to drive today, especially on gravel.
Yeah.
It's really nice stage, honestly. We take a lot of enjoyable. So let's see.
I'm sure there's a huge smile underneath that mask of Adrian's. And now on to Rhys Yates, an exciting character. He's also exciting behind the wheel, as we can see here. He's going to have a little bit of fun. James Morgan calling the notes for him. James had a little bit of driving fun, you could say, over lockdown, becoming EBRC drivers, well, co-drivers champion as well. Rhys, no stranger to gravel, loves it. And he was very much out there to have fun, but boy, he wasn't half having fun. He was actually keeping it up as well. As we can see there, properly exciting. This is what we wanted to see, and thankfully we've got it. So thank you very much, Mr. Yates and M Sport, for fielding a couple of your future stars of the WRC. Maybe a little bit too much steer there from Rhys, but he enjoyed himself, I think. Let's find out from Rhys.
it was good fun, yeah. We're just loving it through there. We're overdriving way too much, but it's just good to be sliding it about again. So yeah, it was good, mate.
Josh Moffat was up next in the 2014 Fiesta WRC. Josh, no stranger to gravel roads, although it has been a couple of years since he was last out on them. However, it all came to an end too early for an overall result for Josh. Engine problems, as you can hear from, well, that not nice sounding Fiesta WRC. He would be back later on to set some blisteringly fast times just to show his journey wasn't wasted. Up next, brother Sam Moffat in a Fiesta R5. Sam absolutely flying on stage one, just getting to grips with it though, establishing himself apparently the drivers were saying that the surface was quite grippy, even though by the looks of it on screen it looked like an ice rink. Sam Moffat would take 5th overall on stage one. Fairly impressive for the Irishman, given it's been so long since he's been on gravel by his own admission.
Yeah, it's nearly 2 years since I was out in the forest, so I've no idea. Yeah, it was nice to be back out and everything feels good there, but we'll see what the times are like compared to the guys in front, but it was enjoyable anyway.
Up next was Hugh Hunter, and Hugh Hunter would actually go 4th overall and fastest of the non-factory entered cars. A really good time from Hugh as well, only 1 second off French superstar Adrien Fourmeau. Hugh in the Mark 1 Fiesta R5, so a cracking time, as you can see there. Neatly done, tidy around all the corners and then straight on it, not dancing everywhere. Catherine McCourt would get 6th overall, so the Irish contingent really showing their hunger to get back out on the stages and really showing the English how it's done on the home turf, especially the M Sport boys. Catherine also only 5 seconds off Fourmeau's best time, so interestingly the boys were straight on it, and Catherine in a Mark II Fiesta R5. Really lovely aggressive styling on the Fiesta R5 Mark II. I love this for the current generation R5 cars. We've got some really great examples. And then over to, maybe not a classic just yet, but a brilliant car, the Ford Focus RS WRC7, piloted by Frank Bird and Jack Morton on the notes. He's actually level 6th with Catherine McCourt. And let's sit back and watch and listen to this impressive bit of machinery. Up next, Stephen Petch and Michael Wilkinson in 7th in the Fiesta WRC. All different types of Fiestas, from the R2s, the STs, the RSs of the 2014 to 16 generation, and of course the absolute monster driven by Matt. But we're on board with Petch here, swinging it around. Nicely does it. Taps the bank in though. He was lucky he got away with that one. A bit neater through there. Really skirting out on Stephen Petch there. And into the stage, Joseph McGonigal in the Fiesta Rally 2, the R5 Mark II, recently renamed in line with the FIA's Rally Pyramid, which also complements M Sport's ladder of opportunity. Joseph McGonigal posted the 9th fastest time. You know, the non-M Sport cars, you could say, really were in a nice little gaggle together. 21 seconds off the lead was 4th placed Hugh Hunter. But Joseph McGonigal in 9th, 28 seconds, all over a 10-kilometre stage. Not much of a gap at all, giving us some nice competition for the rest of the day with 5 stages to go. Former junior WRC driver Tom Williams did get an outing in four-wheel drive machinery as he planned to step up to the R5 category this year. Had an outing on the Cambrian, but this is second Forest outing this year so far. Getting to grips with the R5 car, but got a really good, experienced pair of hands sat next to him, Jamie Edwards on the notes. Really great to see Tom back on the British stages after a couple of years in junior WRC.
A quick check on the scoreboards then after stage one. with Matthew Wilson in the current World Rally Car leading the Rally 2 machines of Rhys Yates and Adrian Formeau. Hunter leads the non-M Sport exponents, ahead of Sam Moffat and Catherine McCourt. In the Rally 3 class we'll see more of later, Finlay Retson led a gaggle of 4 cars by 14 seconds, while the tight Class 4 was headed by Robert Wilson in a top 3 split by just 4 seconds.
Back to Matt Wilson now, taking to the stage. Bit of a blip there, stalling at the start of stage 2. He would later go on to tell us a little bit of some small gremlins in the engine there, but still not stopping Matt from charging through to make sure he recouped his overall lead. Apparently Malcolm had a bit of a pep talk to him before this one. He said, you better win this. So Matt's first rally for a number of years as well. He's adopted his new and embraced it to the full, his testing role within M Sport. So as we've already mentioned, knows these stages, knows this car in particular. This is M Sport's test car for the WRC. So Matt, this is Matt's office effectively, and this is his office block in the Greystoke Forest. He uses a multitude of different stages throughout here. This complex has been designed and developed with Malcolm and Matt's input. They've even had input on how the roads have been built, adopting some Scandinavian techniques. Into stage 2 was Rhys Yates, getting his rear end out as much as possible, really giving everybody something to enjoy and appreciate for the first Forest Rally back of the year, and probably the only one. Rhys really enjoyed himself, even joking with James Morgan later on in the day that James was laughing as Rhys was getting so close to some banks and bales, and you can probably notice the odd scuff and mark on his car as he did clip a few. Next up in the running order was Frank Bird, third overall in the stage, actually beating Frenchman Adrian Formeau. Only 1 second shy of Rhys Yates, to an absolutely brilliant time from Frank Bird there. On a 6-mile stage, he was only 8 seconds down off Matt Wilson, who it has to be said is the favourite here, having been around these stages so many times. You can see in stage 2 the loose surface was being pushed to one side, so as cars went off a little bit offline, it really would lose a lot of grip, but it does provide some phenomenal action and some nice shots there of Frank drifting wide.
Good run through, nice and tidy, so a bit quicker than the last two, so keep chipping away.
Next up overall was Adrian Formeau in his Fiesta Rally 2. Adrian using this day actually as a bit of a test day, changed his setup slightly from 1 to 2 and was happy with it, despite actually going slower than Bird by 3 seconds. Sam Moffat claimed 5th overall on stage 2, setting a 6-minute 11, 15 seconds slower than Matt Wilson. Finishing joint 5th overall on stage 2 was Charles Payne in the Ford Fiesta RS WRC. However, Payne's really good form in stage 2 would result in him jumping up 3 spots to end up 8th overall. Junior BRC driver Finlay Retson stormed his start to the M Sport Return to Rally stages, taking victory on stage 1 and 2 in Class 3. By the end of stage 2, Retson had actually amassed a lead of 14 seconds over BRC junior rival Eddie Lewis. Taking second in stage 2 was Eddie Lewis in M Sport's latest car, the Ford Fiesta Rally 4. Matthew Wilson wasn't the only Wilson to lead a class at the end of stage 2 though, as Rob Wilson ended up leading the Class 4 category by 9 seconds over Tony Simpson in the Fiesta R2 with that 1600 engine singing for all of Greystoke to hear. Tony Simpson would be second by the end of the first loop, taking third on stage 1, clawing his way up to second in stage 2. Jeremy Packer was actually on his first ever rally for the M Sport Return to Rally stages. A long-time partner of M Sport, Jeremy was finding his feet, and this was the perfect opportunity to welcome one and all as rallying returned to Britain. From WRC cars right the way through to the likes of Mr. Packer there, making his way round.
You made it through the first one without going off. That was the mission.
If you need the door open, guys, great, because I'm boiling.
Let's go to the leaderboard for a picture of how things are playing out. Matthew Wilson leads by 20 seconds, despite that stage mode issue. Behind, Rhys Yates and Adrian Formeau are locked in a battle for Rally 2 honours, with Yates 11 seconds ahead of his rival. In the battle for the drivers not competing with M Sport, Frank Bird leads the way after that impressive run that beat Formeau through Special Stage 2.
We have had a couple of little dramas. We went stalled on the start line both times. First one was fine, but the second one we probably lost 10 seconds or so. It wouldn't fire up. So other than that, it's been all good fun, and managing to stay mostly dry. I think we've had the wipers on a couple of times, but nothing too serious. So, and everybody's seeming to be coping all right. It was a hell of a sight driving back up after the first stage and seeing just literally all MR5s in a big row was fairly impressive to see. So far so good.
Yeah, happy, yeah. I mean, weather's not great, and I forgot how to put it into launch mode on stage 1, but other than that, yeah, we're having a bit of fun, and yeah, stages there's a lot more grip than I thought they were going to be. On the recce and stuff, it looked dead like slushy, but first stage kind of just having a laugh, sliding it about, overdriving the car, but that's just lots of fun, so that's the main reason we're here.
Yeah, to be honest, I wasn't really expecting it. I've not really driven the car since the last stage of the Cambrian at the start of the year, so it was just really ease ourselves in, but we came away with a good lead in the first stage, so just keep going as we are, I think.
Yeah, it's been going all right actually. Stage 1 was a bit slow off the mark, but turned out it wasn't actually. But we had a few interesting moments in some braking sections, so we sorted them out for this last stage, and we went okay, but I knew I had a bit more left, so we're going to come into this next two, just holding this pace, and we'll see how we do for the rest of the day.
So the first two stages have been completed here at the M Sport Return to Stages Rally. We're on the stop line of stage number 3, waiting for Malcolm Wilson to come through as the zero car. This used to be the start line for the first two stages, and you can see the ruts that have formed on the road. And this is the ruts that the cars need to stick into for the rest of the rally. There's going to be ruts like this all over the stage, and they need to hook their tyres into that so they don't slip outside that and fall off the road.
Absolutely great advice and insight from our resident driver John Armstrong there, who is definitely no slouch behind the wheel. Bit like this man, Malcolm Wilson, making sure the stages are clear for us. Let's just listen to that baby sing. Unfortunately, on the second loop, Malcolm would end up putting it off the road, and it was not possible to recover the car. However, both him and Richard Christensen were able to walk away safely, just highlighting how treacherous the conditions were facing everybody as they returned to rallying. Matt Wilson off to a flyer yet again, even knocking down our GoPro there at the start line. Nice bit of onboard here, watching how Matt works the wheel. And he's just effortlessly keeping the car gliding around, but then in a straight line, not easy at all. And you can see Stuart Loudon waxing lyrical there, beating out every note, flicking the page, making sure Matt knows exactly where he's going, despite him probably being able to drive these roads with his eyes closed. Slipping for a nice little chicane here, some ruts forming as you can see there, as John explained. Looks like we've got a bit of rain coming down now, and Marshall getting a nice picture of the action there, and as you can see, being warned to slow down here, approaching the incident. Just see Malcolm's car tucked off to the bushes there, almost stopping Matt just to check his father's all right, and then we'll find out what happened here.
Report your dad's off there. Did you stop or?
Yeah, he's off. We got the red flag just at the junction, sort of over halfway, and yeah, he's off. They're both fine, but the car's in the ditch. So obviously, with there been no zero car link through the rest of it, we were given the red flag. So, but yeah, everything else is fine, and he's all right.
Chesterfield man Rhys Yates went into stage 3 running second overall. However, he would lose 1 second to Josh Moffat and Adrian Fourmeau on stage 3, but notional times on stage 4 meant that Yates actually remained in second with a 10-second lead over teammate Adrian Fourmeau. Frenchman Fourmeau was able to edge 1 second over teammate Yates in identical Rally 2 machinery on stage 3. Stage 4, however, he had to slow down after seeing the red flag and going into road mode to make sure the stage was safe, and obviously couldn't set a competitive time and was given a notional time, the same for Matt Wilson and Rhys Yates. Looking to the customer-entered cars now, Frank Bird ended up engaging in a frantic battle with Hugh Hunter. Hugh Hunter would actually post the fastest time out of the customers on stage 3, narrowly edging Bird by 2 seconds. Bird would bounce back on stage 4 though to maintain his 4th position overall. Hugh Hunter and Dale Bowen were men charged on a mission as they were hunting down Frank Bird's Focus WRC to try and topple them and take 4th overall by the end of stage 4. As mentioned, Hunter was actually able to take 2 seconds out of Bird on stage 3, but by stage 4, Bird bounced back, taking a whopping 10 seconds out of Hunter's stage 4 time.
Good, yeah, just one quicker, so I'm happy really because we're not taking loads over that first stage time, so we're going okay on the first run, which is good. Yeah, it's great.
Sam Moffat had a suspected puncture earlier during the day, however that puncture did actually arrive by stage 3, dropping a position to 6th overall after the 3rd stage to Hugh Hunter. He was 7 seconds down, but was able to chip away at that time and close the gap to 5th by the end of stage 4.
Definitely have a puncture this time, front right's flat, gone. Yeah, we just didn't see it at all. There was a stone on the inside of the corner. I hadn't done cut around, none I done.
Catherine McCourt finished stage 4 joint 7th with Sam Moffat and Joe McGonigal, but was able to hold 7th overall by the end of stage 4 in classification, 3 seconds down off Moffat and a further 4 seconds down from Hunter. Charles Payne would go on to finish joint 8th on stage 3 and then, to make even better, joint 6th on stage 4 with 4 drivers in total sharing the 6th position. Payne would end up 8th overall in classification by the end of the 2nd loop. Joe McGonigal was also one of the other 4 drivers to share 6th position on stage 4 with 2 Fiesta Rally 2s, 1 Fiesta RS WRC and a Ford Fiesta R5 2-litre, all tying for 6th. And Tom Williams would finish joint 10th with Stephen Petch, only 2 seconds shy of the gaggle occupying 6th position on stage 4. However, it would mean Tom would still occupy 10th overall in classification by the conclusion of the 2nd loop. And despite being out of contention for overall honours, Josh Moffat posted the 2nd fastest time on stage 3. Riding on board with Finlay Retson, the talented young Scot, flat out in his Fiesta R2 T19, Retson would end the 2nd loop with a 27-second lead over Elliot Payne, with Eddie Lewis losing 1 position to Elliot Payne to drop down to 3rd.
Yeah, I actually don't know how big a leap I've got, so I've got no idea, but just keep going as I'm going, it's going good. So.
I mean, that's one way to go rallying, not know your lead. It kind of makes sure you're not going to put it off and you're not going to get too excited either. Elliot Payne, however, managed to scrape together a good result on stage 3, just 1 second off Retson, and by stage 4, finished equal with him.
A little bit better, still a bit slippery. I seemed to be a bit off pace this morning for some reason. But yeah, we had a couple of moments, but we'll get in there with it now. We've softened it all off, so yeah.
Eddie Lewis rounded out the top 3 in his Ford Fiesta Rally 4 by the end of stage 4. Only 2 seconds down from Payne though, as their battle would continue over 2nd throughout stage 5 and 6. Rob Wilson continued to push hard up front in class 4, taking 2nd position on stage 3 and stage 4, but was still able to maintain his lead with 7 seconds over 2nd position by the end of stage 4.
Brilliant. I didn't feel like I was quite on the pace, if I'm honest with you. I had a few little moments and it kind of shook my confidence a bit.
Moments shaking Wilson's confidence meant Tony Simpson was the man of the hour for the second loop. Simpson taking stage victories on stage 3 and stage 4 to mean he closed down on Rob Wilson to just 7 seconds.
Grip's really good. Despite everything we said first thing this morning, there's more grip in there than what you think. It's really deceptive, to be honest with you. You think it's like this and it's not. There's tons of grip in there if you fucking find it. But no, mega. It's just great to be out.
It was Andy Turner's first time out in the Ford Fiesta R2 built by M Sport. Finishing 8th on stage 1, Turner had made great progress. By the end of stage 3 and 4, he was actually posting podium position times and battling with this recognisable name, M Sport Ford World Rally Team Principal, Rich Milliner. Milliner was also becoming accustomed with his car, having a hairy moment there throughout the day as his times improved.
Getting into it, enjoying it, still reasonable times, so that was a bit messy to be honest, but yeah, it was good fun.
So after 4 stages, Wilson leads by 29 seconds over closest challenger, Reece Yates. Adrian Formeau promised an attempt to close the 10-second gap to Reece, while Bird leads the battle of the non-works teams with a 12-second gap over Hugh Hunter. Hunter leads a narrow fight for 5th, which includes McCourt, Payne, McGonigal and Williams.
Having a good time?
Yeah, we're having a lot of fun. It's good fun.
So actually on EWRC we're actually leading, which is nice. Got a quick screenshot, but Matt Crew's the last one because they're an issue in the stage. So, but it's been good. Like the stage 3, the first time through, like I struggled a little bit to go back down the stage, like the other way. So the lines were a little bit different. So I struggled with a bit of rhythm through there. But the second pass were a lot better. That felt like best I'd driven. To be fair, I'm just really enjoyed it.
We are third. We are trying to get to the second position, but it's not so easy. So let's see what happens for the rest of the rally. But we enjoy it. That's the most important thing, I would say.
So time for a last blast around Greystoke for the second loop, stage 5. You can see a bit more water's come down and there's a little bit of standing water there as we fly on board with Matt Wilson, launching it into the forest. Incredible scenes here as we can see from the drone shots. Matt Wilson must be enjoying himself as well. There's nothing that beats a bit of competitive action and feeling as you're pounding around the stages. Despite being told you'd better win this thing by Father Malcolm, Matthew Wilson wasn't able to make the greatest of start on stage 5, only finishing 2nd overall. But it was business as usual on stage 6 as Wilson came back to take the stage victory by 3 seconds. Giddy as a kipper, Reece Yates would take 4th overall on stages 5 and 6, thoroughly enjoying the conditions, although he did note how treacherous and bumpy and rough stage 6 had become after the constant different variety of cars that had gone round ripping up the stages. He would do enough to secure himself 2nd overall. Frenchman Formeau would be settled into more of a comfortable rhythm on 5 and 6. Conditions on stage 5 and 6 were much more representative of the Malcolm Wilson rally that he won overall earlier in the year. Frank Bird in his elegant, focused WRC was a man on a mission for stages 5 and 6. Taking 5th on stage 5, Bird would end up taking 2nd joint with Adrian Formeau on stage 6 to end up taking the overall rally victory once M Sport had withdrawn its entries after a sporting gesture to ensure its customers ruled the day.
Yeah, really happy. Yeah, going into this event I didn't really have any expectations, didn't really know where I'd finish, so finished 4th overall, really happy with that.
So, congratulations.
Thank you.
Flying through the stages on the last loop, Hugh Hunter was able to take 8th on stage 5 and then another 9th position on stage 6, enough to cement himself as 2nd overall. Hunter was flying throughout the day and desperately tried to chase down Bird in the closing moments of the rally.
Really good day, fantastic.
Hunter definitely needed to pull out all the stops to ensure he secured second overall though, as by the close of the rally, just 3 seconds separated second, third and fourth. Sam Moffat would end up taking third overall on the rally, just 2 seconds shy of Hugh Hunter's time. As you can see here, pushing all the way, maybe crossed a little bit too hard.
Hey, look, it was good. 4 seconds off Hugh going into that one, and McCord's new tyres on there. He's only 2 behind us, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And yeah, it's great to get back out rallying now, and thoroughly enjoyed it. And yeah, hopefully they'll run something like this again.
With Catherine McCourt using some fresh rubber to try and snatch himself second overall on the rally, he would go off on an absolute flyer. Taking 1 second out of Hunter on stage 5 to end up finishing joint 6 with Joe McGonigal. And then take a further 3 seconds out of Hunter on stage 6 to finish 6th, but it wasn't enough. In the end, McCourt would finish 4th overall.
Oh, I enjoyed it, it was good.
That's good. It's good. A good battle at the end there too.
I know, it keeps everything and momentum going. Yeah. No, I enjoyed it. It was good. Hey,
good stuff.
Cheers, John.
Charlie Payne was locked in a battle for 5th overall come M Sports withdrawal. It meant that he would have to edge out Joe McGonigal in order to finish 5th overall, and did so with just 2 seconds between McGonigal and Payne. McGonigal had the upper hand after stage 5, 1 second ahead of Payne. However, on stage 6, McGonigal would lose 3 seconds to finish 10th on the stage and drop down to 6th position overall, with Charles Payne taking 5th by just 2 seconds. British youngster and godson to World Rally champion Richard Burns, Tom Williams would have an enjoyable day out come stage end on stage 6, finishing 7th overall and having a clean run, improving throughout the day. A string of top 10 results in his Fiesta RS WRC meant that Stephen Petch would finish 8th overall by stage 6 after M Sports withdrawal. It was a great showing for Petch, and it was great to see the Fiesta RS WRC back in its native habitat. Robbie Young was locked in a battle for 9th overall with Tom Preston. Edging out Preston by 1 second by the end of the rally, Robbie Young took 9th overall with co-driver Alan Calvers. Thomas Preston had to settle for 10th in his Fiesta RS WRC. The M Sport return to rally stages proved eventful as well for Kenny McKinstry here. Oh, just nicking a banking there, sending his Fiesta R5 flying in the air. Nasty shunt there from McKinstry. He managed to get the car going again, and underlining the strength of the M Sport built Fiesta R5, was able to return to the stage and carry on. Albeit hobbling home with his pride hurt a little, and then leaving a little bit of bodywork on the stage for some marshals there. And now let's turn our attention to the battle that was for the Class 3 overalls, with young Scotsman Finlay Retson really stealing the show and led the rally from the word go, absolutely flying through the wet and soaked Greystoke stages. Retson was flying and on form throughout the rally, winning every stage he hit, and ended up winning by 35 seconds over Elliot Payne.
Yeah, delighted. First win this season, only the second rally, so no, it was good. Yeah, not really much to report, just enjoyed myself, and the results seemed to come.
An overjoyed Retson did not mean a disappointed Elliot Payne, who had actually managed to close the gap in terms of stage deficit by the end of stage 6, dropping only 3 seconds to Retson and drew level with him on stage 4. The day didn't go according to plan for Eddie Lewis though. The junior BRC driver ended up having a massive incident here, almost going head on into a banking. A really hard impact for the junior driver there, but both co-driver and driver were okay after the incident. Finishing off his day on his first ever rally, Jeremy Packer was getting more and more confident and accustomed to his Fiesta R2T 2019, and even managed to spot a doe flying through the stages. Rob Wilson was able to make a commanding finish to the rally, taking victory on stage 5 and 6 to end up winning the rally by 22 seconds over Tony Simpson.
to be here, thanks to everyone that put this event on. It means just everything to come first in class, and thanks to the sponsors, Ravenol, Spout, Asni, they've helped out massively, and to be honest, we couldn't have done it without them. So huge thanks to everyone involved, but massively happy about this one, yeah.
An elated Wilson there, but it was by no means an unhappy Tony Simpson either, who had performed incredibly well throughout the rally, taking a pair of stage victories on 3 and 4, bringing it home in second on stages 5 and 6 to notch second in Class 4, 22 seconds behind Robert Wilson, but more impressively, over 1 minute and 30 seconds ahead of third. In third position was one of the headline acts, surprisingly, for the M Sport Return to Rally stages, Rich Milliner, M Sport Ford World Rally Team Principal, decided to go rallying again after not the greatest of outings last time in the Greystoke Forest. It was a full M Sport team effort as well, as Rich's co-driver was none other than Kirsten Dallas, his colleague at M Sport, who, according to Milliner, was the only co-driver available. Despite Milliner's teasing, Dallas managed to get the job done, guiding Milliner home to a podium position on effectively his home rally.
As we run down the leaderboard for the last time, it's Frank Bird installed at the top of Class 1. Second and third in class, it's long-term BTRDA rivals Charlie Payne and Stephen Petch, ahead of Tom Preston and Martin Cairns. Hugh Hunter gets the Class 2 win for R5 cars, heading Sam Moffat and Catherine McCall after that epic last stage duel. Finley Retson dominated Class 3 as Jeremy Packer scored a class podium on the last stage, following Eddie Lewis's crash. And in the Yo-Yo Class 4, Rob Wilson romped clear of Tony Simpson late on, with Rich Milner rounding out the podium.
I wanted everybody to try and be as safe as they could be and have a good day's fun, and to be honest, that's what appears to be the case. The feedback that I'm getting is it's been great, so as long as people are going away happy, that's the most important thing.
That's it from us here in Greystoke. There's been thrills, there's been spills, but most of all, we're back rallying. Thank you for watching. See you soon.